Take a load off and grab a seat. Pull up a chair, prop up your feet. That's fine by me. Fine by me. Yeah. It's podcast time.
Long live the king.
Jordan's not my king. My king, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
There's more people
Praise
in
him.
the driveway.
And this is fine by me.
Welcome to another episode. We're in the new. What's our new recording place?
Yeah.
Looking like it.
the library, the
This is
studio.
that room Nick was called a library. I ain't seen a book one in this dumb bitch.
There's one up there. Fix it yourself.
Oh, that's a manual.
Manual.
That's not a book. That's a manual.
Oh, manual.
Yeah, we're still. This is the. Yeah, we're working on it.
Kind of a
It's good to be here.
We're working. We're working on it. Nick's working on it.
I like to change the scenery. My living room's like a little dungeon, so this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
We've got some lighting that I bought. Cost me about
Shining right on me.
$18.
We might do a behind the scenes little short video later. Maybe put it on Facebook.
Well, they're not gonna see much.
Yeah.
There's not much going on.
That corner behind the phone.
There's a typewriter back there.
Yeah. No, that's my grandfather's old cash register from when he owned Black's Auto Parts. Hi, Emma.
Oh, we got people coming and going
I
here
know,
too.
dude. It's just
Yeah, I guess so. I'll shut this door.
I swear, dude. I can't even focus. I can't focus when
Is
it's just
there
the three of us.
Is it?
I can't even focus when it's just me.
Do we got train tracks around here too?
Yeah. Got crackheads gonna pop in.
I would love to see a crackhead pop in.
I bet you would.
Golly,
You ever done any crack?
I freebased.
Freebase. What is okay? So
Freebasing is just smoking cocaine.
Okay,
We used
cocaine.
to
Yeah.
sprinkle it on top of our joints.
okay,
and our,
I've never
Yeah.
smoked crack.
I ain't never done that. No.
parental advisory. You know.
Well,
But yeah, we used to call them Chevy blunts.
Chevy.
We never
I'm
thought
gonna
about it.
smoke a Chevy.
It was like a year after we, 3 or 4
yeah.
times I did it, and then after a year, somebody was like, "Yeah, freebasing, like you smoking." I was like, "Oh, is that what we're
He
doing?"
said, I do
when
not freebase cocaine.
When we sprinkle it on our blunts, they're like, "Yeah, you're smoking." Yeah.
Y'all remember
I
that
always
video
thought
of that
first-
dude? Y'all remember that video of that
Oh, yeah.
dude? That he was like, I do not
Will.
freebase.
I do
cocaine.
not.
Now, I'll drink a little tequila now.
yeah.
Now, if
I
the
always thought
preacher's giving
freebase was whenever you had it like on some tinfoil and you lit it up and then you like.
that's smoking it.
I think that's
That's
how
smoking
you
crack.
get crack.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's one
okay.
way to
I don't know
do
the
crack.
recipe. I just you
Or
talking about
fentanyl.
crackhead. I just want to know if you ever done crack because I've never even seen crack.
I just like opium and alcohol.
Opium.
Mhm.
I doubt I've ever.
He's in an opium den with a bunch of Chinamen.
Opiates.
I know.
Opiates.
Going to opium den back in the day.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sick.
I mean, it's pretty much just a trap house these
That's how they
days.
started the dodgeball tournament. Remember, they cut their heads off and threw them at each other.
What?
In the movie Dodgeball, they said that the ancient art of dodgeball
Yeah.
was from a bunch of Chinese monks.
You're not watching an episode of Real Fine by Me.
Well, I
now,
just
but-
had to think of opium, and they said they threw the severed heads of their enemies at each other after they got jacked up on opium.
I actually, funny enough, I did watch or listen to the newest episode
Yeah.
of Real Fine by Me on the way up
It's
here.
good stuff.
It's good. It's good, man.
Good stuff, man.
I like whenever I got nervous the first time y'all released like the 1 through 5 system, and I was like, are they really going to just do like I rate this one a 3?
No,
they do
man.
professional ratings.
Decimal
they
system.
They get down to the decimal system.
and we give an explanation of why. Check
Exactly,
it out.
yeah.
Patreon. Hit it up. It's
good.
also free on YouTube. It's a freebie.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Lee, you can cancel your Rotten Tomatoes prescription.
Yeah, man, really, you could.
Have got a
Yeah.
new source.
Now, I will say this though: we break down the whole movie. It's a spoiler alert. So if it's something you never seen, don't go there to watch it.
They've done 2 so far, and if you ain't seen these movies, then you're living under a
Right.
fucking rock.
We're doing spoiler alert this week. We're doing Die Hard for Christmas. So
Oh, hell
that'll
yeah.
be later this week, coming out next week.
Me and the boys had a big debate last night on whether Die Hard was.
It
a Christmas
100% is. Even the creators said it was.
movie. I've got a group of my church camp boys came all the way from Georgia to spend the night here. for
Dude,
2
that one
nights.
looks just like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, and he is funny. You should see
I
him
can
dance.
tell.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a
funny.
Jew too, right?
I don't know anything about his blood lineage. I know his mom's fat.
Blood lineage. How fat?
She wouldn't have made it through that cave tour we did earlier.
Lord
We
have
talked about
mercy.
that a
I
few
wouldn't have
times.
either, though.
Because
You know-
he kept bringing it up. He's like, my mom would not make it to this.
I think you had to make a point.
You know, funny enough, I was watching some episodes or some videos earlier today. I'll bring it up later, I guess. But Roald Dahl, you know Roald Dahl, he was the one who
we
did
watched a bunch.
BFG, Charlie and the Chocolate
Charlie and
Factory.
Chocolate Factory,
Matilda.
Jeremy Giant,
Matilda, yeah.
Matilda. We
But-
watched his Netflix stuff last night.
But they had the Penguin books had like sensitivity writers go back and change some of the words, and the big guy in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, instead of calling him fat, they decided it would be better if they called him enormous.
Yeah. It's funny.
The German kid.
Yeah, Gustav Glut.
I feel like enormous is way worse.
Yeah. I haven't watched it. That
Large.
movie used to kind of scare me when I was younger. I don't know. It's just weird, man. Just the whole thing about it. Oompa
that
Loompa.
scene
Well, I'm
when they're
scared of
going-
midgets. That's probably why, dude. It was
That
Oompa
is-
Well,
Loompa.
I would
God,
almost put
brother.
that Charlie movie like in the vein of like Wizard of Oz, which is even as a young kid, I thought that was an odd movie.
It's strange.
Dark Crystal. I mean, there's several of them I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah.
The
Well,
Labyrinth movie or whatever. It's
Yeah,
wild
Labyrinth.
as shit too.
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth,
Pan's
the one with
Labyrinth.
David Bowie.
Never-ending Story.
Yeah, dude. That's
Never
weird.
ending story was.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It looks
Oh,
too
buddy.
freaky for me.
Dude, you got to.
Dude, I did watch the other day.
If y'all ever want to do a real Find by Me and rewatch Never-ending Story, I would 100% do it.
I watched Masters of the Universe the other day with Dolph Lundgren, like the 80s movie where he plays He-Man. That movie did not age well at all, dude. It's wild.
Like Tucker, Kevin Smith brought it back as a cartoon version on. I think it was on
Yeah.
Netflix.
I always liked
Yeah.
He-Man and stuff, but that live action movie from the 80s was terrible. I actually watched all of it too. I didn't like it, turn it off.
Dolph Lundgren just overcame he's had cancer for 6 years and now he's cancer free.
Did he probably cured it himself. He's like a genius.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a scientist
Yeah,
of
he's
some
like
sort,
a
isn't he?
chemical engineer or some shit. MIT.
Probably a Scientologist, isn't he?
I don't know, man. I don't know what his beliefs are. Probably not.
Maybe.
He may not believe in
we'll,
nothing.
we'll put that down as a maybe.
He might
I
not
don't think
believe in
a
anything.
Scientologist-
I know that he really was after the guys from Workaholics' blood in a blood drive one episode of Workaholics.
Oh, okay. I thought like in real life,
No.
maybe.
But it could have been like a
Putting a bid
secret.
on Adam Devine's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Devine wanted to meet Dolph Lundgren so bad he like took like almost all of his blood out of his body to win this contest to meet him, and he ends up almost dying.
Yeah.
And like ends up having their buddy come and they like try to put like dirty blood back into him and all this shit. And Dolph Lundgren shows up.
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "I just wanted to meet you, Dolph." And they have like a cutout, like a full size cutout, for, like the winner, and he gets to keep it. So he's pumped.
There you
That's
go.
fucking tight.
It was
Worth
tight.
it.
was a good episode.
It's worth it.
Yep.
I took the boys on a little field trip to Mammoth Cave earlier.
Yeah. Are you feeling claustrophobic?
No, I just don't. The echo has gotten worse since we closed this door. I feel like
There's a bunch of mattresses in there.
that's going to deaden the sound quite a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we just line the walls in here with mattresses. See, it's already better. I already like that.
Yeah, man, I like it. I don't think my head's gonna explode.
Woo!
I'm-
I was about to hang myself there for a minute.
Y'all are sensitive.
Dude, I am sensitive.
Dude,
It's a
I
fact.
do all the audio and video for this podcast. So
I'm
it's all
saying
I think about.
Your brains. I'm just saying your brains are sensitive.
Because it has to be, because I know what I'm going to be looking at later.
I think it's because I've been
I
around
think
a
it
lot
feels
of.
better opening that door too. Let a little breeze
I've
through.
been around a lot of power tools and heavy equipment. My hearing is probably about 60% of what y'all's is probably.
I doubt that, to be honest. There's good decades of my life around all that stuff, too. Not currently, thankfully. Thankfully, I sit in
About
my
what
house
kind of
all day
stuff?
long.
What kind of stuff were you around?
Well, I mean, like prior to 6 months ago, I was in body shops every day.
Oh yeah,
all
that's
day.
true. Fucking air guns. Dude, air guns are loud
Dude, them
as
air
fuck.
guns taking off the side like a quarter panel or something.
Yeah. Yeah, or like a big wheel.
Dude,
like a
that thing
heavy
could
drum
be
wheel.
across the fucking shop in a big ass shop, and that's loud as fuck.
Them dudes don't wear headphones
No.
or nothing. They just cigarette hanging out of their mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're
You
the
give them
best.
lug nuts at least 4 tugga-tuggas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
3/4 inch
Yeah,
drive.
what'd you torque that to? I don't know, 3 or 4 chuggas there.
Hard. It's on there hard.
Yeah.
Put Loctite on that bitch too.
I feel
Man.
like 6 chugga-chuggas, that's when it starts snapping.
yeah, we don't go past.
I've
6.
broke some studs off before. It sucks.
Oh
Sounds
yeah,
about right.
it's not fun to fucking change them out either.
Dude. Well, Well, they didn't let me
Mr.
do it no
Jackass
more.
over
They
here.
were just like, no more.
Yeah, the ones I broke off were like super rusted.
They're
Like,
like,
it
"You're
wasn't
not-
really my fault.
You're not really well suited for this kind of work, Josh. Get on out of here. Well suited. I've been told it before. You're not really well suited for this.
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
You can
I
put
just
the
need a
you can
fucking
put the
paycheck.
drill down.
Like, you think I want to be here?
Yeah, I'm here because I want a paycheck.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all gonna pay me or not?
I come to the job that requires the least amount of like thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This man was a lineman.
Well, I did enjoy that work. I was good at that though. That was different because that
I
shit
know,
could kill you.
I was gonna say, and it's so opposite of your mental or your
How I am.
demeanor, or how you
Now,
are,
I used to be a lot different before I lost my
because
leg.
you are not a thrill seeker at all.
No, dude.
And I've watched those videos of the people in like
I do get
all
fired
the
up
gear.
on that shit. Yeah, man. That
all the
shit's
gear, and they're like attaching two things together, and you can just see the
Arc.
The arc.
I do tell. I told Christy, I said, dude, I think back sometimes, like how I am now. Like, I can't believe I ever did that shit for 6 years. I was like, how did I climb them poles? I do, because now I could never even think about doing no wild shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just how
It makes me
funny-
nervous seeing those videos of the guys in helicopter and they're holding that big pole out to
Yeah.
connect the arc
Well, those
Yeah.
guys are crazy.
and
Yeah.
ground the helicopter.
They have a good pilot. With them pilots that do
Yeah.
that shit, man, they're just hovering. All they can do is make one. Everybody's dying.
I've
I
got
know.
I've got more helicopter and pilot talk in my life now than I ever had. Of course,
You probably got to pass a hellacious psych evaluation to do some shit like that.
I think those people.
Because one day you have to just run over into the power
Oh, yeah, I
lines.
know. It's like a common thing you talk about with people, I think, or things like it's a joke, I guess. It's like, how many times when you're driving you just think,
Intrusive thoughts.
what if I just and went into
Veer
that
off.
tree?
Or when in the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, or on the oncoming traffic.
I do. Hey, I do have a really fun pilot that wants to come and be a guest on the show.
That may be out of my. I don't talk to pilots, surgeons.
He's also a heavy metal guitarist
Well,
Let's
in
bring them out.
in a rock band.
Bring them out. Bring
Yeah.
them out.
Super cool guy.
Who's he? What's
He's one of
what's
the.
the provenance?
His name's Adam. He's a pilot for Life Evac.
Okay.
Melissa's favorite
nice.
pilot.
He's also a hero.
He is a hero. He's
Yeah.
he's an Iraqi war.
Where's he playing
veteran.
music at?
All over the place. They had a show like 2 weeks ago in Nashville.
Hmm.
You gonna get back and then go to those shows?
He's never going.
I might go. I might go to one Friday.
He ain't never-
Flashbacks.
This man never quit, bro.
Might go to one Friday. I have tickets to one, and everybody that I have tickets with are like, "Are you coming Friday?" And I was like, "I don't know if it's a great." I was like, "I haven't really stood up for long periods of time, so it'll be a whole lot of
Yeah.
me.
It'd be a lot.
It'll be all if I do go, it'll be a whole lot of me going to the chair section and like sitting down and whatnot and taking breaks. And obviously, I won't go up front, so nobody can like bump my arm or anything like that. Which I've got pictures of me after the fall of me up front.
Yeah.
So,
I seen those. That's wild, dude. I was like, dude, this motherfucker's talked. He's out here just wild.
Yeah.
No
No
I
cap.
went home
No cap.
immediately. There would have been no going back in there for me. It'd be like, well, I guess I'm going home.
I'm just
Because I would have shit myself too. I would have shit myself next to the ground. I would have shit all over myself.
if I would have shit myself, I would have went home. Yeah.
Well, that's automatic for me. So
Yeah. I didn't realize my legs were bleeding
I
that
said,
bad
"Oh,
until I
damn,
got
dude."
home.
I'm shit myself. That's what I'd say.
I didn't.
Shit myself.
I didn't realize I was bleeding as bad as I was. Like if anybody remembers the first time they saw me, like
Oh, you had a boo boo.
this whole leg was fucked up. This whole leg.
2
was
weeks
fucked
ago
up.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty rough.
Yeah, that's you had scabs in places that I couldn't imagine gravel even being able to reach.
I know. I was like, but you know, big guy, you probably slid pretty good.
I was gonna say my hands were pretty fucked up.
The
They're-
chins were very.
yeah, the shins were pretty bad. Both of my like palms on the bottom of them were pretty fucked up. They're both
Fine by me.
finally about good.
Finally
Yeah.
fine by me.
Finally fine by me.
But yeah, I took the boys on a field trip to Mammoth Cave. It was supposed to start at 2:10,
Yeah.
and we walked some trails, and we were
Is
headed
Mammoth Cave the biggest cave system in the world?
in the world.
Nice.
Yeah. Which it's got a lot of small little cracks and stuff that connect to other caves,
Mhm.
and they track the water with this special dye.
Yeah.
It's like a magnetic dye, and so they'll track that water, and
Why has it got to be magnetic?
because that's how they use
They
like
use sensors,
a
like
reader.
a metal detector kind of thing.
Okay.
yeah. they use a reader to. But if it comes out of Mammoth Cave into another cave, or if it comes from another cave into Mammoth Cave, then it is officially connected to Mammoth Cave. It's like 460 miles of caves.
The other one's like in South America. The other big one. There's another big one that I have heard of. I didn't know if it was number 1 or number 2. Did y'all? Wasn't there a fire or something?
Yeah. So it started like 15 minutes. It started like 15 minutes late, which is why I was 15 minutes late to pick you up.
Right.
Because they were like, "You can't come through here. We smell smoke. Smells like plastic's burning and there's."
I pictured an older woman saying this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, "We're just gonna stay on the sidewalk. We've got to be right over there to meet the bus." Well, there ain't gonna be no bus leaving here, honey. And I spent like $120 on these tickets, and I was like, "They better let me in there to get my
either give my money back.
yeah." Or you let me go on this bus.
You
The
spent
safest place for us to be is on that bus.
In the cave.
Yeah, in the cave.
getting out of here.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got out. We got out at 4:20.
You did good.
Yeah,
Nobody was late.
Blaze, 69, etc.
yeah.
Nobody was late.
69.
69, baby.
Still alive.
Last episode was our 69th episode.
I know, I saw that. I saw that. Funny enough, I wish I could remember what number it was. I had this whole. It wasn't even something I planned to bring up. Just the 42069 thing. People being edgy with like their numbers or whatever.
Edgelord.
666 isn't even really the number of the beast. It, like in like old times, it was like 616 or something like that. It's not even 666.
Right.
I wish I could quote something for y'all right now, but I read it the other day and
Maybe it'll show up right here.
maybe if I remember.
Bam.
But 666 isn't even the number of the beast. It's like 616 or something like
Really?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know that stuff.
I don't think there's any,
I really don't.
I don't think there's any talk of that in the Bible. I think it was something that superstitionists made
The
up.
pagans made up.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Do you know pagan religions are really just anything that's outside of
I used to know a girl named
Christianity
Pagan.
and Catholicism and whatnot? It's
Yeah.
not really like there's not like a pagan religion. It's just anything outside of that. So
Right.
really, you would
Vikings
consider
would be in that.
Vikings and Romans and the Greek and whatnot.
What
Like that's
about
all
the-
pagan?
What is that? Church of London, like the Church of England. Is it like Christian?
I don't know.
I think that's why they split up. I think the Church of England's like it's a whole different thing. They might believe in like Jesus Christ or whatever, but it's like a whole different.
Yeah, as long as long as like Jesus or some sort of Christianity is involved,
Muhammad or
it's
something.
it's not considered pagan. Pagan's only is just like,
Like
a
we
broad. It's like a broad term. People. That's I was getting into. I was reading about this the other day. Like pagans are generally considered like witches or something, but it
Yeah.
has that term has literally nothing to do with witches or witchcraft or anything.
Well, it's kind of like how Hispanics
aren't always Puerto Rican.
call everyone else, call white people, especially gringos.
Gringos, yeah.
Yeah.
Or how all the Jews call everyone else goy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it was Jews and Gentiles.
Gentiles,
Everybody
yeah.
else was Gentiles.
Yeah, I'm a Gentile.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the what's the Talmud?
Torah.
No,
Isn't the Torah a Jewish book?
I thought it was the Talmud.
That was a Torah.
One of those two mentions goy,
I'm looking it up.
and
Yeah,
that's it's like a real term
Yeah.
for.
I think that's what
It-
Ari Shafir.
he's like Hasidic
said-
Jew. Yeah,
Yeah, he said goy.
yeah,
He's
but,
like
well,
from
no,
outside
that
of
like
ages.
his whole special is about
Jewish.
Jews,
Yeah,
and
it's
like
called
the-
Jew.
and
Got a new
they're
one coming out.
Yeah,
in February. Or so.
Nate Bargatze has a new special dropping Christmas Eve. He also has a variety show tonight, Thursday night at on CBS.
Oh,
Yeah, check it out.
variety show.
Yeah, he's like a live
Christmas
kid
special.
It's like a live it's at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
And it's like a live Mikey Day from SNL helped with it.
Lorne
and
Michaels
produced
Is the
it.
producer.
Yeah,
oh, Saturday Night Live, huh?
it should be pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
Nate.
well,
Nate
well.
Bargatze like saved Saturday
Yeah.
Night Live.
Darius
it feels like.
Rucker's the house band for it, and somebody else as
Oh.
well. Should be good. Hour show.
Hootie and the Blow
Hootie and the Blow.
Did you park in the
Nate
driveway?
said that he stays on stage with him the whole time.
parked outside of your fucking.
In the grass or in the park?
I think it's gravel. Looks gravel to me.
We think we got an issue outside parking lots.
Well, one of my guy Corey's returning one of my pressure washer trailers.
Oh, he should be able to
yeah.
make it past me.
Well, if you can't, you got insurance, right?
I mean, we don't talk about those things. Of course, I've got license, insurance, professional, commercial, residential, sidewalks,
Insurance.
gutters.
Yeah, insurance. That's a big deal, man. Everybody will say, you got insurance? Yeah, dude. I'm not going to tear your shit
I
up.
put a bid on an apartment building the other day. That was the first question the man asked me. You got your license and insured? Of course.
When I worked for the park, that's like everybody would like want to come out there and do shit. Like, you got to have $1 million worth of insurance. $1 million worth of insurance. It's really cheap to get like one of those like cover everything policies in case a kid breaks their leg or
It's
something.
called an umbrella policy, people.
Yep. But yeah, I was like $1 million. Like you hear that, I didn't know anything about that shit.
Yeah. It's not like you have to pay
No, it was like $40.
$1 million
A one-time thing.
over a 20-year period.
Because usually nothing ever happens. They just keep that $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's what they.
It
to happen.
rises
They're betting on.
exponentially the first time you have $1 million claim.
God, dude, yeah, it's gonna be $4,000.
Yeah.
It was $47 last time. That kid broke his neck.
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair. We got to take care of him the rest of his life.
You talking about the paralyzed kid?
Yeah, you talking about the paraplegic?
Yeah.
Talking about that dumbass kid that fell off the porch.
Hookers are going to cost him a fortune.
What is it? I think it's Switzerland or Sweden. They're with their disabled, with their disability checks that the government gives them, they get like $100 a month for prostitution.
You would have to have.
It would be where's the red light district? Where's that?
Amsterdam. It's in the
Amsterdam.
Netherlands.
It might be Netherlands.
What do you think, man?
Yeah.
Like if like something were to happen to you and like you didn't have like a way to get out or maybe date, or you were like a shy person, but you still have needs, right? You obviously can't like take care of yourself.
You don't have to get out anymore, though. You got Tinder, Facebook, etc.
Yeah, what if you don't want to put that work in? What if you just want to pay somebody?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
They got
I mean,
apps
that-
like Meals on
Maybe you're
Wheels.
just lazy. We shouldn't let
maybe
you procreate.
maybe you just see it as a business transaction. Maybe it's that,
That's against my religion, but
whatever.
maybe
It's a
we...
tale as old as time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
No, I'm not going to stop. I mean,
indulge anymore, but I mean, I used to be a proprietor.
That's what I was trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
yeah, I've never paid anybody to have... I've never paid anybody to do that with
We all
me
have
before.
our things. I used to like buy baseball cards and stuff. That was my thing. Everybody has their
That's
thing.
basically the same.
We've all been there.
It was your downfall, man.
I got hooked to like buying packs and trying to pull that winner out every
Yeah.
time.
Look at him now.
Dude, buying packs there is something like
Scratch off lottery tickets.
it's so
Same thing.
good. It's so good. Like
Yeah.
whenever like me and my father have a
It's all about Barry.
we have a pretty
You got a painting coming.
extensive collection of baseball cards. There's been a couple that we've bought like just the card, but 99% of everything we have, 99.9% of everything we have is packs that we've ripped open.
It's fun, man.
And that's the funnest part of it. It's like we went on vacation. Well, I went with them. I went like on old people vacation, like not last
Went on
year,
a-
not last summer,
a
but the
grown
summer
child
before that.
vacation.
But well, everybody there was like all my parents and aunts. So I was the only.
You
Oh,
were,
I had a
you were
big-
the young buck at 35.
Yeah.
33 there.
Yeah, so I had a big time. It was so fun. And me and Dad found like a card shop, and we just bought a brick of like it was like a 1980s
Fleer or
Fleer.
something. Yeah, Fleer Ultras.
Fleer, yeah, something like that. And
Remember
we just
Bowman? Like
Yeah.
the old school one? Like
Don
it would
Russ.
just have like them like just holding a bat.
yeah.
Yeah, those
Don
were the days,
Russ. But yeah, we like one night we went back after we bought those, and we just like we would pass each other like 5 packs apiece.
It's
we
fun,
just
man.
opened 5
Looking for
packs
that
real
one
quick
good
and,
one, man.
and look through all of them, and be like, oh, this is
Well, dude, there's some people now that like that's like their job because like some of these cards like one out of like a million or something. So they find like that piece of baseball or like that piece of jersey, and you could like sell it for like $100,000.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
I was talking to funny. I was watching an episode of Broken Simulation. It's a Sam Tripoli podcast today, and Tim Dillon was on it. And they got on the talks of he was like, I'm thinking about like building a new studio. Sam was talking, and he was like, and if somebody wants to sponsor it, I will let you sponsor it and have the naming rights to the studio if you buy me a Michael Jordan rookie card. He didn't specify
Which one? Or
Yeah,
none of that?
any of them.
Because I have some at home that like aren't the good ones, Like
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
Fleer.
feel like it would have to be a $40,000 to $50,000 one or
Yeah.
so, but like good ones that are what is it, PSA 10?
Yeah, graded.
Whatever.
You have
they
to pay to
grade.
have them graded and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Those go for like $500,000.
I've seen them on eBay. I've looked. There's some like Mickey Mantles. Like that's like the holy grail baseball cards, like a 50-something Mickey Mantle, and some of them
Yeah.
go for like $200,000, man.
Yeah, me and Dad have a, or he does, I guess it's one of his cards from his childhood, but it's like just a picture of the New York Yankees with like Babe Ruth and I think Mickey Mantle. I don't remember timelines for all those things, but there's a bunch of big names
Yeah.
all in this Yankees.
Gehrig, Mickey Mantle.
But it's like in the worst condition.
Yeah, but-
So it's not worth. I mean, I bet we could sell it for $500 or something.
Oh, just for a collector would
Yeah.
want it. Like a
but
big
it's
Yankees
it's
fan.
in bag. It's
You probably
all
sell it to Travis
bent up, but it's so cool. Like just to have something like that that's from
that long ago.
forever ago.
I
And
got
like,
some Aldous Huxley books, first edition from 1939.
damn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
not Brave New World though, not the good one.
Yeah.
It's got some of his like romance. He wrote like a lot of like philosophical love story kind of deals.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading one now called "Time Must Have a Stop," and it's about this guy that goes and lives with his rich uncle who's a hedonistic guy. Like he's like out there. It's like the Roaring '20s, and he ends up like fucking like this dude's like aunt. This young boy is a virgin. It's like this whole like he has like a dilemma in his head about like he shouldn't be fucking this old woman and all this stuff. And his uncle has a heart attack, like in the midst of all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy story, man.
I had a real premonition at some point whenever Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones got real big, that I was like, I knew George R. R. Martin already prior to the series starting on HBO, and I was like, I bet something else of his is going to hit big.
Yeah.
So I went to like the half price books or something in Bowling Green, and I bought just, I don't know, 6 or 7 of his other random books that he wrote. And they're all kind of like fantasy style. Some are fantasy romance,
Right.
sci-fi type stuff. And I was like, somebody might pick up one of these one days. And I've got a first edition that could be. It never happened. That was literally
First edition books, though, they're always usually at least worth their face value.
Yeah.
They don't never go down.
I was like, that was literally a decade ago or more. Whenever I bought those 7 books, I've never heard anything coming from
just
any
keep
of
them
those.
nice. HBO might pick it up and run a series.
Yeah, I mean they're in
There's
box.
violence and sex.
Yeah.
It'll probably get picked up.
I never read any of them.
I've never read the Game of Thrones book.
I literally thought it would be a good investment. I paid $15 for 7 books of his, so I was just like, this might be worth more than $15 one day.
Oh, it'll be worth more than that.
Yeah.
I read a book about once every 5 years, and when I read it, I really enjoy it. Like the last one I read was about a jockey that got murdered, and it was a murder investigation book, and I enjoyed the fire out
I'll
of it.
probably read 3 or 4.
It was like a $10 book, and then it was about 5 more years before I read another book.
I just reread Lord of the Flies, man. That's a great book.
That's a good book.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my son to get into reading. He just won't do it. I was like, read Lord of the Flies, man. I got him Hatchet for Christmas by Gary
He's on
Paulson.
the farm, man. It's
Hatchet,
gonna be
dude.
tough.
Hatchet was the book that got me into reading.
Yeah.
Remember that book?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like a perfect 13, 14-year-old boy coming of age book, but he won't ever read it. I even
Yeah.
wrote a sweet little note in there, and he probably won't ever see it. He might appreciate it 20 years from now, I guess.
Yeah.
but
He's like, oh, my dad was a real faggot.
yeah, look at this gay shit. That's what he'd probably say. He'll say. He'll open the book and he'll go,
This is the gayest shit I've ever read in my life.
what a pussy, dude.
Josh is dead long gone.
Yeah. This dude used to tell me he loved me all the time. Yeah. My dad would never tell me that. Not very much. You know what I mean? Like, like older dads, like the older generation, like, not that they didn't love you. Obviously they did. It was just a whole different way. They were like all the time like, hey, buddy, you do it. My dad never asked me one time if I was really doing all right. You know what I mean? It's just a different.
No, he
But
went to work and he paid all the bills.
Right,
Right, like,
he
this
come
boy
home.
better know I'm
He wanted everybody to just shut the fuck up.
See, I grew up in such a different home, to be honest. Like, my dad and mom always told me they loved me. And I got off the phone with Nick the other day, last week, whenever he came and picked me up. I said, all right, man, I love you, buddy.
Oh, we tell each other that. Like, I'm for it now.
And, like,
I
my
do
dad,
kids.
after I said it, I was like, I bet he's going to think that was weird. Didn't mention it, didn't look at me weird. Like, he was just like, dude,
Now, I will say, I'm not
dude
a
loves
big,
his friends. That's
I'm
all,
not a big
nothing
hugger
wrong
per
with that.
se. Nick forces his hugs on me, and I'll get to where I'll hug him back, but I'm still not a big hugger with anybody.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I'm more. I like a good embrace every now and then.
Gay shit
Good
away
warm
from me.
embrace.
Hugging me, faggots.
Good warm embrace. These boys I got, they love gay jokes. One of them humped me in the cave. I was bent over.
Well,
He took it as
how
an
what,
opportunity.
19, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
prime
just-
behavior.
yeah, he's hormones raging. He's ready to
Whatever.
hump
You got a
anything.
hole, they'll find it. You got a hole, they'll find it, buddy.
Yeah, if there's a rough spot in the mattress.
Don't turn the lights off.
Yeah. Yeah, relax. Lock up the old girl in there.
Oh, well, all right. I'm ready to hear about these drones. Is it aliens?
No. So
In case, you explain. I'm sure everybody knows. Is it New Jersey that the drones?
New
are based
Jersey
in?
is where the drones are. They've started showing up in other places. So funny. So awful enough for me and having a podcast myself is I ran across this guy that owns his own or is a CEO of a drone company that does government contracts. And then, by God, if Joe Rogan didn't fucking retweet this guy's thing, so now everybody knows about it. But it makes the most sense of everything I've read since then. So he's like, man, like these things are definitely not something that are mass produced. Like they're not something that could be out there because they're out there for 12 hours at a time. And there's just no way for
Like us to have that kind of technology that would run
us,
something.
well, I mean, this guy does government contracts. He was like, my drones can't stay in the air for 12 hours
It's a
at a
long
time.
time for anything just to stay in the air.
Yeah, he's like,
Even
they
airplanes.
just don't like. Well, he calls them multicopters. So I'm guessing that means that they're the ones that have like four
propellers.
propellers on them or something, or maybe just even two propellers on them. I don't know.
Multiple.
Yeah. So he was like, that's a long time for a multicopter to be in the air like that. He was like, there's obviously the ones that are just battery powered, but they do have hybrid ones that are gas and battery, and they can't stay in the air that long. So he was like, it's something that they've been working on that we don't know about.
Of course, they'd have hybrid drones.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have something to supplement batteries.
That's what I didn't even never thought about that. But that would
Batteries-
make sense. Just
yeah,
kick in like a little pony motor, kick in, charge the battery, kick back off.
Enough
Yeah.
something enough gas to get you back home.
Yeah.
Once you run out of battery, it's like, okay, this is our
Or like a charging station.
reserve
Or-
base.
Because you got to imagine especially if they're riding at night, they can't see shit from up there unless they're running thermal imaging. So that's a whole nother camera that you got to run
Yeah.
that
Sucking juice, big
that
time.
that sucks juice. So these things are
or
something.
Gentiles.
These are
Sucker.
these are definitely some kind of drones. Somebody made them. We don't know the tech behind them yet, but the thing that he goes over in the video, if anybody's seen it, it's like 9 minutes long. Dude's over out west somewhere, like not in California, but like I don't remember where he was.
Somewhere in the desert, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he goes on to say he's like, he's like, I got news from somebody that I know that touched a warhead that came from Ukraine. Since the 1950s, there's been over 80 or 90 warheads that have just gone missing. And that's throughout. America has supposedly only lost 8 or so since the
The
50s.
USSR's probably lost a shit ton.
They lost a big one, and it's because they said that we sunk one of their submarines that had 32 on it. So that's the biggest chunk, is we sunk a submarine that had 32 on it. But
Nuclear.
and then also the Reagan administration, they were trying to avoid MAD, which stands for mutually assured destruction.
Right. Yeah, that was a big deal during the Cold War.
Yeah, and he
They had fail safes on everything.
him and Gorchowski.
Yeah, that's right.
They met, didn't work out a deal, but they ended up sort of
He had that
working out a
weird
deal.
birthmark on his head.
Yeah, he was the guy that had the
Florida.
He had
He looks like
Eurasia on his
Florida?
head. He had
Yeah.
Eurasia on his side of his head.
Pangea.
But he,
Pangea, yeah.
they ended up sort of working out a deal, and they like supposedly sealed a bunch of them, but Reagan still lost like 4 nukes in this process.
Probably
like
in that
just-
same tunnel with all the cheese.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, probably. So any chance for me to dunk
Callback.
on Reagan, fuck Ronald Reagan. So I'm gonna take it.
That's from the Big Milk episode.
Yeah, that's big milk for you. But yeah, so that all happened. So he said this guy said he put hands on this warhead from this CEO guy that runs the drone company. He put hands on a warhead in Ukraine, and then he saw it again on a ship in Europe heading for the U.S. And he did everything he could to warn the government about it, and they didn't do anything.
Huh. Of course.
So, New Jersey being a port city, a pretty big port city, we're thinking that, or he's thinking that this this warhead is somewhere in New Jersey, and that these drones are using thermal imaging
to look for it.
And he goes on to say there's only really two reasons there's only a few reasons that drones would fly at night. Like if somebody was out for a search party, and they just it was like their last ditch effort.
Right.
Probably
you have to wait till nighttime.
Probably not going to see them, but we'll at least have them flying just so. Or they would be looking for a methane leak, a natural gas leak, which you wouldn't really see that on thermal most of the times because natural gas tends to leak real slow, so it's not going to change the air temperature
It's so
enough.
slow with the oxygen in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that on thermal most times unless it's a heavy leak. But it
Heavy
would
flow.
Yeah. Gotta get better tampons.
Them supers.
Yeah, so you would have to have. So they think that they're hunting for this nuke up there, and New Jersey's so small, and these things be flying so much. In my opinion, if that was the case, why ain't they found it yet? If it's there, probably ain't there. Is what I'm thinking. But
And also, right there close to New Jersey was an assassination that happened in New York City a couple weeks ago, all at the same time.
Luigi,
I saw a thing about earlier today about CNN. Is a bunch of people are offering to pay for Luigi Mangione's
His bail.
his attorney fees. And
Oh,
they're wanting
yeah.
to pay for the whole case.
That's happened before though in the past.
Yeah, but CNN is like, why are people signing up to pay for this man's? And then his attorney was like, well, billionaires are allowed to fund these political campaigns.
Right. Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So, fair is fair.
Yeah.
Fair is fair.
and these political campaigns kill hundreds of thousands.
Millions of people.
Yeah, millions of people. Like especially Barack Obama's all them drone strikes that fella
He's
did.
the all-time record holder.
Yeah.
Bam, baby.
Schools and
That's
hospitals.
America.
Soft
But-
targets.
Number one.
If y'all want my conspiracy mind to put a swing on this,
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
and I might go deeper into this operation at some point in the future, but to keep it kind of short, just to link it to the drone situation, is this is Operation Blue Beam.
Not to be confused with Blue Bell, which is ice cream.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, Joe.
Bluebell's real good ice cream
good.
too.
It
I like
is.
their
It's
chocolate.
so
I don't remember what kind of chocolate.
They
Dutch
have
chocolate. They have one called Dutch dark
They have
chocolate
one
or
that comes out
something.
around Mardi Gras. It's like a New Orleans. It's a king cake. It's like
Oh, I love
And
a
they
king
stay
cake.
out of politics, unlike that
Purity.
stinking Ben and Jerry's.
fucking purity. Gosh, daggone.
Purity's in politics. What's
Prairie Farms.
Purity's good chocolate milk? If you ain't ever had a quart of that,
It's like drinking chocolate syrup. It's that red top purity, dude. It's thick.
Woo!
Man,
Let
my
me
guts
What we might
tell
call
you.
a chocolate flavored drink.
That's Yoo-Hoo.
Now, Purity's real
yeah.
milk. That's real
Yeah.
shit.
I can't drink purity, but I can drink Yoo-Hoo.
Well, that's not real milk.
I know, it's water.
Just
It's
water.
chocolate It's good, though, dude. They go down in one drink. When's the last time y'all had a Yoo-Hoo?
Lactose free. Oh man, maybe like 4 days ago.
Oh, it hadn't been that long.
Yeah. Sometimes I'd splurge a few times a
Get
week.
you a couple Yoo-Hoos.
Yeah.
That.
Is that even splurging when you do it?
I think it is
Pretty
when-
often.
in your mid-30s. You probably should be drinking Yoo-Hoo 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, probably. I
A
would.
Yoo-Hoo and a Monster.
Yeah, back to
Oh,
back,
man.
and a backwoods cigar.
White trash heaven. My pearly gates, the pantry in my mansion is full of Yoo-Hoos, Monsters, and backwoods.
Beef
cigars.
jerky and beef
Yeah,
jerky.
me-
Yeah, so you gotta have a beef jerky island.
Mingy. Just a bunch of cows that you can walk up and just take a sliver of beef jerky right off
And
their
they don't
back.
care. It grows right back.
Grows right back.
Yeah, but they're happy to give it to you.
Garden of Eden, baby.
Back to Blue Beam.
In the Garden of Eden.
So, Operation Bluebeam came from a Frenchman. His name was
Of course.
Serge Monast. Serge Manas. He was a reporter that turned into like a conspiracy theorist type of fella that reported on conspiracy theory things. And it's just the whole plan for pretty much the New World Order to take effect. Their step one was to disparage or disprove religion. So the New World Order is supposedly between the UN and NASA is what his theory was, is the UN and NASA's plan to take over the world and put in place a New World Order.
Right.
So just to disparage religion, they wanted to separate people and make them think that religion didn't exist. Or that God doesn't exist, the creation doesn't exist, etc. He didn't mention this. I put a question mark next to dinosaurs. I think I've been pretty open to say that I think that dinosaurs and Jesus could have been a thing. There's no reason why they couldn't have been a thing, in my opinion.
In the history,
not as far as like living together, but like
that'd be pretty sick though if they did live at the same time.
Tight. If you saw Jesus Christ riding a fucking Bronchiosaurus,
like the Romans start doing some untasteful stuff, and like a T-Rex comes up, just fucking
that'd be tight.
Yeah,
that'd be tight.
Yeah, here comes a T-Rex. Yeah.
But I wanted to bring up dinosaurs because I think that's one of the big things that super religious people bring up. But I was like, I think that dinosaurs and
that's where our oil comes from.
Creation and stuff. Well, I mean,
no, that's a creation by the Rockefellers to make fossil fuels seem like they're very scarce.
Yeah, I agree with Nick on this.
I don't have a stance anyway.
It only came from dinosaurs, and there's only this much left. No, oil replenishes itself faster than we could ever use.
According to the movie Cars, it's from the company Dynaco.
Yep.
So
yeah, true.
Put that in the pipe.
True. I only brought up dinosaurs because I think that's one of the big things that
prove me wrong.
They're like, oh, if dinosaurs existed, how did Jesus exist? I'm like, well,
but you're like a big man now, don't you?
Thousands and million years apart. Who fucking knows?
Big man.
But anyways, step 2 is to fake UFOs. So we're kind of seeing that, and a lot of people are thinking that that's what these drones are, is to fake UFOs. I think the fake UFOs have already been a thing in the sense of I can't remember what kind of, like Peru or something. We literally used holograms from satellites to project an image of Jesus Christ.
Right.
And it was a pretty not super learned, didn't have a very high education, simple area.
Society.
And they were ready to go. Like you can hear
so
people.
It was here. They did it here.
No. They weren't speaking our English.
Okay. They were probably seeing a television.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But either way, there's videos of it in the sky, and obviously, like if me or you or Nick even saw it, we'd be like, that's a hologram.
I don't know, dude. Nick might fall down in spirit, dude.
Maybe. I don't know.
If you seen some stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like if you were just out in your backyard and a hologram of Jesus Christ come up.
If I was alone and saw it, it would be a little bit.
Right,
it
dude.
would speak a little bit.
I think it would blow anybody's mind.
If I was alone and saw it, it'd speak more to me. But they put it in a very populated area,
In the middle
Like
of
Rio de Janeiro.
to cause
That's what he has on.
I don't remember. I saw the video. I can't remember what he looked like.
He's talking about
that statue in
Yeah.
Rio de Janeiro.
Oh yeah. That's a good statue. Why don't we make statues like that? Not
There's one more about to be finished, and it's gonna beat that one. It's
We tore all our good ones down.
yeah, and replace it with satanic sculpture.
I miss Stonewall Jackson, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a damn soldier.
they coming for my boys.
You live-
our heritage.
Ulysses.
They're gonna take her statues, then
Next
they're
thing
gonna
you
take
know,
her guns.
They gonna take our motherfucking Marlboro Reds.
Tell me I can't smoke a cigarette.
The South
My
will
mouth is
rise
Mountain Dew when I
again.
brush my teeth. Anyway,
So
man.
So
took our
step
jobs.
2 was to try to shake people's beliefs even further. Step 3 is mind control, and by mind control, his theory, and this was in like the late '80s, '90s. He was like, there's a possibility if you have like X amount of metal in your blood that they could control how you think with
I
satellites.
think that's what's happened to me.
And that could be people. I mean, obviously, like the super Q people are going to go, "Oh, it's a COVID vaccine." I was like, "Well, they've been vaccinating us for
I've had a lot of blood
40
transfusions
years.
though in my life, dude. I don't know what they put in there.
It's true." But on top of that,
I
like
feel retarded all the time.
he really goes on to say that it has little
Now
to
you know.
do
It's been
with
forever,
the
though.
metal in the blood, but it has more to do with television and media. So obviously, we see a great deal of people just following
Right, yeah.
what the
None of that
media.
stuff on TV is fucking
What
real,
goes
dude.
in
Yeah.
comes out.
It's
Yeah.
like
How about that?
Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
None of that shit's real. You know what I mean?
And then step 4 of the world takeover into the new world order is more false flag UFOs.
Mm.
And
So is that where we're at now?
that's where I
Okay.
feel like that we would be at now
DEFCON 4.
with these drones. So what this means by false flag in this sense is they're going to start putting these installments of UFOs above major cities. They're just starting small with New Jersey, although it is got a pretty good population in New Jersey, and it's right next to New York City, obviously. But whenever we start seeing these in more areas that are around big cities, it's to make people think that an invasion is imminent.
Sounds like War of the Worlds. Remember they set up.
They actually quote this. So another thing, like going back to the mind control thing,
Mhm.
a lot of the things I read today was like they came out with War of the Worlds was like one of the early books.
Yeah.
Obviously that came out,
It's
but we
two
had
movies. It's an old movie and a remake with Tom Cruise.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Tom Cruise one came out, and then we've also got like all of these other ones like Battle for Los Angeles.
Yes. That's a good one.
Project
District 9.
District 9.
District
That's the
9.
one I'm trying to think of.
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yeah, like all of those things trying to, or what this guy's saying is trying to normalize like something big is about to happen.
I'll tell you, that's what's blown my mind about all this. Like, growing up, especially our age, like I think that like aliens were like, oh, dude, aliens might exist. Like X-Files was big, the movie Signs, the crop circles, all that shit. And now that people are seeing UFOs, nobody gives a shit. Nobody even cares. Like, oh, okay. Like, like we don't believe
Common
nothing.
knowledge.
Well, as I'll say, I think at this point, yeah, you
Like there's not like a big people aren't going crazy is what I'm saying. Like
well, nowadays, like news travels so much faster, I think. But
think
at the
we're
same time,
conditioned as
even
well.
with me, like we are to an extent, in my opinion. But even me, I want this stuff to be real. Like I want aliens to be real.
right.
I don't want this new world order stuff to be real.
No.
I want like alien. Like if they're going to invade,
I
just
like
come.
the old world order. You know.
Hey,
How old are we?
I'm talking like, post Jim Crow. Like I'm talking like the 80s, 70s, 80s, when shit was fun. Like all the stuff like
yeah,
happened.
women couldn't vote.
Well, that was a little before that.
They could vote in the 70s.
Yeah, they could vote in the 70s.
Oh well,
Yeah, that's the 20s. You're talking, we're way back.
no, women couldn't vote till,
Suffrage
like,
was in the
60s
20s.
or
No, it
something,
was
right?
the 20s, dude.
Man,
Yeah.
we've been letting
Suffrage.
them vote for way too long.
Yeah.
Susan B.
Let's see where it's at now.
Susan B. Anthony pushed for that. She had her own coin too.
Great
Susan B.
for her.
Anthony dollar. Yeah,
Is it silver or is it mostly silver?
it's mostly
I heard
silver.
a lot of people say
I
that
think
she
it's
was a bitch.
73%.
Wes, what do you think?
What'd you say, bitch?
I heard a lot of people say that Susan B. Anthony was a bitch. Do you have an opinion on that?
I think her coin's a 73% silver.
Well, I don't.
She's a woman.
Rosa Parks.
That's a woman
okay.
joke.
Okay, I get it. 3/4 of a man. I
That's
get
a
it.
that's you gotta cook
Harriet
that one a little
Tubman's
bit.
was 1/3 of a dollar.
I didn't think it was probably that much.
Oof! Does Rosa Parks
Remember when
have
they were
one?
talking about putting her on a $20 bill? Everybody's like, "Don't put Harriet Tubman on a goddamn $20 bill." And Andrew Jackson, probably the most destroyed everybody. President is on the $20 bill. And they're like, just this outrage. Just Harriet Tubman's going to be on a $20 bill. Not my $20.
Well, that was supposed to be a joke about when African Americans started voting, their vote only counted for 1/3 of a white male.
Right.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
I think we got it.
Okay. I was just making
I
sure.
didn't want to spend a lot of time
That
on
was
it.
for Tutley or or long sleeves, you know.
I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that.
You're just trying to flip right by.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
bring
was
you
trying-
back. I'm gonna bring
I'm
it
trying
back.
I'm trying to keep it where we can maybe get monetized, maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing back the 1/3
I
vote.
think
I
I
was just
said
wanting to bring the
retard real
conversation back.
fast on the beginning of this.
We can say retard, I think. Now,
Oh.
that F word that we said at the beginning of the podcast, they don't like that.
Okay,
If
well,
you called me, my dad called me that.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He probably has before.
R.I.P.
I know he probably has.
I know.
He was whispering it in his Trans Am when you were coming out of basketball practice and you were
Dude.
limping.
Funny, he did, dude. He had like an '85 green Camaro IROC.
Oh yeah,
And
J-Rock.
we were in the trailer park. You know how back in the old day, or they might still do that, they still have the hitch on the trailers. Like they'd back them in and leave that
Yeah.
hitch in front. Well, anyway, we were in a driveway across from one of those trailers with a hitch, and he's told us, like, he ran the house real quick and said, "Don't you touch nothing." It was a 5-speed, and it was running. And sure enough, I could not touch nothing. I threw that sumbitch in gear, and it burst and ran all up on that. Had that hitch not been on that trailer, we'd have been in the living room of that fucking trailer. I still remember the beating I got for that. It wasn't even that bad. It was just like he was like more like embarrassed and like, Jesus, man. Like,
I bet it knocked some
It's the only
pictures
car
off
I
their
got.
wall.
oh yeah,
You're lucky you didn't knock it off the block
it
foundation.
may have. I don't know what happened.
Because they ain't using mortar.
No,
They
no.
laying dry right
Not if
now.
it still has the hitch still on it,
Yeah.
especially. It just probably was backed in a couple days before.
They probably covered the wheels with that little skirt they put around them things. Like, this thing ain't going to be here for long.
No, he's gonna
Leave the
pay
wheels.
one month a lot rent. He's gonna be out of here. Can you imagine having that job trying to repo trailers though? Like that's a big like ordeal. Like you
Yeah.
say, you got to have like a whole crew to come get that son of a bitch.
You have like a crane.
Yeah,
I
you got to
think.
have
No,
a big
wait,
truck.
No, you just got a big
yeah.
ass
semi.
truck.
Like a
Nowadays, they're delivered
Modular,
like that.
yeah. They go together now,
Yeah.
like pieces,
Back then, they were more like
like a big RV,
a big camper.
a camper.
Dude,
Yeah,
I remember whenever I think I've told this story, but I remember when my uncle he was always living in a single wide, and I
Yeah.
remember the time I remember him getting the other side of his single wide delivered. Like he already had a single wide,
to add to make it a
and,
double wide.
and he ordered a double or he added another one to make it a double. And I was like, living big over here, boys.
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine. Okay, so this is two stories. I couldn't imagine being a little kid and watching like a house get put together like that and being like, so this is how houses are built.
I was 8 years old when we moved into a double wide trailer. I remember they brought both pieces down the road, and I remember them putting that so much together, and I was thinking, this is fucking stupid.
Well, I probably
We were doing a repair one time on like a head wall, and it was made out of peat gravel, not like regular concrete. It's called exposed aggregate.
Yeah.
And we literally went to the hardware store and got it was concrete in a tube, and then we got just like a bag of pea gravel. Like one of our pieces of equipment knocked a chunk off this dude's head wall at the end of his driveway, so we had to go repair it. And we had this new kid with us, and like we were squirting that concrete in the tube on there and putting like one rock at a time and trying to make it match.
Just
and he
patching it up.
said, yeah, and this kid was joking, but he said, so this is how head walls are built. We all died laughing because it's like one rock at a time. And you just build it up until it's 5 foot tall. Yeah.
Keep going back to get more tubes of concrete.
Yeah.
They're out of tubes.
No, I think it would have been more impressive for me. Like I thought it was wild because I knew what a trailer was, but
No,
I
you're from
remember
Scottsville. You definitely knew what a trailer was.
Well, the house that I grew up in, I remember being 7 years old, and like this is one of my few early memories. I remember sitting on like the edge of the first story of my house that I grew up in, and because my dad built the house. It's like it was kind of like into a hill, so it was
Yeah.
almost like a Hobbit house.
Yeah, they put
Sorta.
another level on top.
And then they put another level on top of it. So I remember seeing the pictures of me like sitting on that second story.
Subterranean house.
Yeah. And I can remember like looking back and being like, oh, these guys are really out here just building a whole ass house. And I'm
Yep.
7 years old.
Pretty sick. That's a pretty smart way to build a house, though. Like if you had like a plan like for the future, just live in the bottom while you build the top. That's pretty.
Well,
smart.
I will say, I mean, my dad built that house like whenever, like 87 or so. So before he was even married. So it was just his like bachelor pad, and then he got married, obviously, and then
He sounds like a planner. He's a big picture guy.
and then he was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna have 2 kids. And then after they decided to have 2 kids, they were like, let's build another fucking story.
We're gonna need the room. Like, we need another bathroom.
A
That's
house
what it was.
on top of another house.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's so crazy to think. I don't really remember what it looked like prior to. I remember what it looked like without the top on it, like as they were building it, but I don't remember what it looked like before that.
I bet
Really.
they had a city council meeting when he did that and was like, who are these rich motherfuckers moving in?
Who are these rocket scientists?
Yeah.
Building a house on top of a house.
Yeah. Are we going to
I thought that
allow
was
this?
a hill this
Are
whole
we going to
time.
allow this? Zoning and planning was freaking out. It's like, is this possible?
They had to write a new law into place because of him.
It's
Like, we're gonna let it slide this time.
Yeah. Only 2 stories.
Yeah.
No more.
It's funny because my dad's like loosely an electrician, loosely a
Yeah.
plumber, and also loosely a carpenter.
Right.
Like, so he did like
You can do all your own stuff.
Yeah.
Though, you know.
he was like, man, the only thing I remember having to learn really how to do was to do a blueprint to like submit for the
To the
loan
state, yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, 'cause you have to, I think
He was like, and once I did that he was like, I worked on it for like a week. I submitted. They were like, it's good.
probably didn't have the internet or nothing. Just read books. Learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to read
Yeah.
books? learn
Go
how
to the
do it?
library. Where's your blueprint books?
Well, he worked at A.O. Smith or GE at the time in Scottsville, and I know that they had like AutoCAD and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So I'm betting
He
that
probably
he
used their stuff.
probably just used their stuff to
engineers
do the
there. Probably if
blueprints.
he had questions, he could ask the engineer
Yeah.
there.
I'd love to have a big printer. that
They
could
had
print.
engineers at GE.
Yeah.
Dad was probably the closest to an engineer that they had.
He had somebody there.
They surely did.
Yeah.
He was working at corporate in New York City. Bring it back around to the drones.
Yeah.
Bring it back around to the
Out
drones.
of the drones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drones though. I think it's something that we should. They've started shooting at them. By
yeah,
the
I
way,
was telling Nick that before you got here. I said somebody's been shooting at these drones. That's
Yeah.
the most American thing I've seen.
I know.
Dudes got a sprayer, bam, blasting off
Yeah,
rifle shells.
they started showing up somewhere in Texas, and they've like really lit them up in Texas.
Yeah, they probably ain't been back. There's a lot of natural gas and shit in Texas too, so they could be looking for a leak.
Looking for leaks.
Right.
I think they're looking for this missing nuke, though. I don't know. I feel like this whole NWO plan with Bluebeam. Maybe it's just because I know so much about these conspiracies that I feel like they're so far fetched. But then I think about how not misinformed, just uninformed that like the general public is.
Like, I don't know.
And I'm like, well, maybe I guess like if somebody said this, people wouldn't know what to believe because
People just don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? Like we're at a time too. Like people don't really want to put like a lot of extra effort or thought into really things that don't affect their everyday life, right?
an alien invasion would for
Well, it
sure
would.
affect your life.
It might not here though, not for a while. Unless
True.
it hit.
Yeah, I live right outside of
I
Nashville,
did read
so
some kind of study. Now, this was for like a zombie apocalypse or some kind of outbreak type situation. But it was like if it struck New York City, those people are fucked within 48 hours.
Right.
But like for us,
We've got
it would
time.
be over a month.
The only thing about us, though, is Fort Campbell's closed. You know, that would be a place they might try to hit. And that's-
Clarksville.
Yeah.
Oh, we
It's
were
an
all
hour away.
scared back in the day. I forget. It was after 9/11. They were talking about the possibilities for other terrorist attacks, and they were talking about there could be a terrorist attack in, I think, maybe Owensboro because there's a nuclear
Silo.
silos.
There's
and
silos
stuff
all
there.
in this area.
Well, I mean, we've got, Tennessee is basically ran by a nuclear
Yeah. Power plant.
power
right?
plant
Yeah.
or whatever. So, like, that would be a good spot.
Speaking of, TVA is getting away from coal. They announced yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Apparently there was some kind of accident or coal ash fire or something.
They
Somebody
should
got
really
killed.
just get on nuclear. I don't know why we don't just go on
Oh,
nuclear.
that's my ride, guys. My
Oh,
ride's
you
here.
got a ride here?
Yeah, my ride's.
Okay.
Oh, there's the street jacket, it looks like. Okay.
All right.
All right, man. We'll see you later. What is
All
it
right.
again? What is it? God, what is it? It's been another episode of Fine by
By me. See you later, Nikki.
West Coast, yes, yes, yes,